We are located in Fitchburg, but I live in Oregon, so I'm very involved in the community there. So yeah, so you guys all voted. There were 8 votes and 4 people voted for search engine optimization. So I will talk a little bit about that. I want to preface talking about search engine optimization that whatever I tell you today is only one type of search engine optimization. So search engine optimization, we get people who call us on the phone all the time and say, hey, can you add an SEO to my website because I'm not being found? There's a lot of like miseducation and misinformation about what search engine optimization is, how it's done, how to change your site accordingly, what can be done. And really what it is it's a toolbox of strategies that, based on what your goals are for your website, help drive traffic to it. So, and the other really cool about website design is that a lot of things can be managed and monitored digitally, so you can track progress. So you can make a couple changes, look at a couple diagnostics and see whether those changes have made a difference at all. So I'm going to share my screen here. And the thing I put up on the board was, to see if you know where these 5 hidden, oops, this is hard to do on a little laptop, 5, hidden areas for keyword optimization on your website. So I'll go through the 5 with you, and then, if we have additional time, you guys can just ask me general marketing questions. I'm an open book. I'm here to do whatever you're interested in. But in general, keyword optimization for a website is all about choosing the right keywords and choosing the keywords that people are actually searching for. So, I know that we've got some folks on the call that do wealth management, financial advising, things like that. There are a lot of different ways that you can describe your industry and lots of different ways to describe the different products and services that you offer. And so what I'd encourage you to do is to determine what is your kind of 80-20. So where does 80% of your business come from, and focus on those keywords and really optimize your website for those keywords for the primary purpose of what we're talking about today. And I'm going to talk about homepage optimization. So every single website page of your website should be optimized with different keywords based on what you're talking about on that page and those kind of things. So this is our website, and we've got some COVID-related information on here, which obviously wasn't there a couple months ago. But in general, we know that our top keywords that we're looking for is web design, website design. And because we're physically located in Fitchburg, we were able to change our city to Madison. So we're coming up really high for all the Dane County area, like Madison related area for web design Madison, because of how we've kind of built our site. So the 5-pack, and I'm going to send you guys a flyer if Judy shares your emails with me, or if you want to put your email in the chat, I will send a flyer that recaps everything I'm talking today, so you don't have to take tons of notes. I want you to look at the screen and pay attention that way, and I'll send you a flyer that recaps everything. So okay, so the 5-pack. So the 5-pack, in my opinion, are the entry-level areas where you should be adding keywords that are very, very oftentimes overlooked when it comes to website designers that don't know a lot about search engine optimization. To me, they're very, very low-hanging fruit and opportunities for you to optimize your site accordingly. So the first place, so when when you go to the library and you're looking for a book and you're skimming, the titles of the books to determine which one you want to choose, that is what's called the title tag. So that appears in this upper left-hand, or it appears in the tab of your website. It's not actually something that's on the page of the website here, but something that's actually behind the scenes in the code of your website. So right here is my title tag, and you'll notice that the first several characters of my title tag is where I'm really pinpointing that keyword, web design or graphic designer or logo, and then I put my business name. Oftentimes people will have their business name first, which isn't technically wrong if your business name has keywords in it, but a lot of times, like mine doesn't. Tingalls Graphic Design doesn't say anything about web design. So you want to leverage those first couple keywords to grab their attention and put that in the beginning of your title tag. And any website platform, any current website platform, I should say, does offer the ability for you to manage your title tag separately. If you have a WordPress site, I'd recommend you downloading a plugin called Yoast SEO, which allows you to write those on the fly and be able to edit them on your website. So the other place, the main place where this shows up is in the search results. Let's see where mine is. So mine is right here. So it'll show up right here. So it looks like my website page is actually showing up higher than my home page for web design. And that makes sense, obviously, because I'm going to have more content on my web design page than my home page. But that title tag shows right here. This purple is what the title tag shows. So that is the first area. Again, you're wanting to grab people there with keywords. You can make it kind of salesy, but I'm going to tell you a different area where you might want to make a sales message. You know, Busy here, one of my competitors, she put her name first. Maybe that's a strategy if she's doing a lot of marketing for Busy, not sure. She's coming up higher than me, but I also know she only does website design. She doesn't do logo and print collateral. So she's going to show up higher on search results, mainly because I think that's all that her firm is offering with that page. So going back here to the website, so that's area number one, the title tag. The second area is the headline of your website, or the H1 tag of your website. So mine is your website and graphic design partner. So right away, I see a lot of websites say, welcome to ABC Company. Really, you need to have that say, welcome to ABC Company, your source for XYZ, because that XYZ is going to be a keyword that you're trying to get in there. So again, the H1 of the page is going to be, it should be available to you as you're building your website. Let's see if I can even find mine in my source code here. So here's my H1 right here. So it's editable, it's findable. If you're not sure if you even have an H1, you can do the find command and you can put in the words H1 and it'll actually highlight the code for you. And then you can look in that line and you can see whether or not your website has that H1 headline.
Sarah?
Yeah.
What if, or maybe this is just something you shouldn't do, but you have multiple H1 tags on a page?
You should have one H1 and then use the H2, H3, and H4 to create subheads. Okay. So for example, on my page, I've got an H1 here, and granted, and so then there's one here this is probably an H2 or H3. Sure. And then I do have one that looks similar to size in my H1. It's the same font.
But you said it with the font size equals?
Yeah. Okay. So Google doesn't care what font you choose. They don't care what color you choose. They choose that hierarchy in order to rank you accordingly. So they're looking at those particular tags of code to determine what you deem more important than the rest of the body copy. Okay. Which actually brings me to my third place, and that's the first paragraph of the page of the website. The first sentence is even better. So for me, marketing is another high keyword, but marketing is such a gigantic umbrella. I don't want to optimize my site for marketing because there are certain types of marketing that I don't do. So again, just trying to market or trying to advertise my website for website design, which is my 80%. That's 80% of our business right now. So here we have website design right here. And not only do I have it in my body copy, but I'm linking it. So I'm actually creating a link with the words website design and that links to my website design page.
Okay, one more for you, Tara.
Yeah.
You're using a banner slider at the top of your page.
Sure.
Does the text in that count as your first text, or would it be the first text under the body?
If you have a slider in your website, normally that is the H1 tag. And in that situation, you could have multiple H1s. That's a good question. I would just say if you're going to have a slider in there, I would have maybe one main H1 for you, would that be chocolatier or specialty gifts or whatever your keyword is. And then the copy, I would have, let me just look it up. And I'd be happy to do this with anyone that wants to have like a one-on-one with me. Do you have a slider?
Yeah, if you go to zonkos.chocolatecaper.com, if you know Harry Potter, you know how to spell it.
I don't know if I spelt it right.
Like I'm redesigning right now.
Okay.
So
Yeah. So, you've got, the chocolate caper here. I would, again, like if this is your H1 for the page, I would probably flesh that out with a little bit more information on like gift giving, chocolate tasting, whatever, and again, you can always, go up to, if you're looking at your site and you're like, I don't know how to look at the source code, you can go up to your tab, your menu bar at the top, and depending on the type of website browser you're using, you can go to something called view page source. I don't know if you can even see what I'm doing, but here, if you do a search for that H1, in all websites, they're built super differently. So it's sometimes really hard to find it.
yeah, it's WordPress with a theme on top of it. So
right
I
now
still have to put Yoast in and optimize it.
So this is saying that the H1 of the page is actually until Christmas. That's not good for you. So
Yeah,
you gotta
so
fix
that's
that.
the first text under the slider. Okay, I'll fix that.
Okay. So that
Thank you.
that must be the H1. These must be something different over here. So we've got your title tag, your H1, your body tag or your body copy, first paragraph. And again, repeated, there's a fine line of saturation of how many times a keyword is supposed to appear in a website. And I don't have a magic number for you because Google changes it 150 times. So I would just say have it, homepage copy, maybe multiple times, but there are two more areas that I want to show you. So the first area is image labeling. And I'm not talking about a caption under the image. I'm talking about the actual image itself and what you named that image when you uploaded it. So for example, if I'm trying to optimize this page for website design, when I uploaded this image, I named this image WordPress-roadhome-nonprofit-website. Even website design, I think. Yep, what Tingalls.png. So I didn't upload a photo DNC56095.jpg, which is what your iPhone labels the photo. I actually put keywords in the name of the image of the name of the image itself before I uploaded it. And there's two main reasons for that. First is because Google wants to be able to, because it's a keyword strategy. And then the second is because if someone were to do a Google search, the first thing that their Google images that are going to come up. So if I put in Google search and I put in nonprofit website design Madison, I've never done this before, so hopefully it works. And then you click on images, look at that, there's the image. So if somebody is searching under all and they start scrolling here and they're like, oh, look at the images here, and they like click on it and they're like, oh, I like that image, and then they click on it again, they're going to find it on my website. So naming your images appropriately is very important. The fifth thing is what's called the alternate image tag. So when you upload an image, you have the ability to tag that in WordPress and Wix and Drupal, whatever your website is built in, to tag that image with a keyword. So same sort of thing, this same image, I probably would tag that with, let me actually even see if I can. So here is the source code. And again, this is behind the scenes. The alternate image tag that I gave this image was Madison Web Design. I probably could have put in nonprofit Madison Web Design or WordPress nonprofit web design. So again, chocolatier, you want to be naming that chocolate, the image, and putting an alternate image tag. These are the 5 areas that when people come to me and say, my website's not performing, I don't know what's wrong, I can tell by looking at the site and doing a quick over whether or not that web designer put any consideration into the keyword optimization of their site. And 9 times out of 10, this low-hanging fruit is something that my clients can do on their own and not hire, a separate company to do. So what questions do people have on that? Anything?
I'm just trying to let other people go first. Okay.
Does it make sense? Do I get nodding heads? Like, does it kind of make sense where those things need to go? And again, this is just one, this is called a search engine optimization keyword strategy. So this is, a keyword content based strategy, but those keywords, if you were to decide to do any kind of like Google, Google ad campaign, a Facebook ad campaign, anything along those lines, those keywords and understanding those keywords and how they function and what the layman is searching for your business is just, it's incredibly important to understand that. And I personally don't have the brain for that. Like, I'm a creative person. So like our writer is the one that does all that keyword analysis for us, because it's just not my brain type. So, finding someone that understands it and, can help you determine that is really helpful. So that's all I got.
Yeah, when you're uploading images, like you had that smaller image on your main page, then when you found it in Google, it was the bigger image size. Do you do that by constraining the proportions of a bigger image on your website, having multiple versions?
You really should only have to upload an image once to WordPress, and then you can use the tools within WordPress to size it accordingly for what you want.
Okay, so that is how it's.
Yeah, I would always optimize your images before you upload them. There's a lot of free tools out there that allow you to upload your image. Large images, like if you take an image with your iPhone, for example, it's probably like 5 or 6 gigabytes in size. You want your images like 100K, 300K. So, having an image that's about 1,000 pixels wide by 72 DPI, that's big enough for a full screen on a website. And that will help your page load speed, which is another search engine optimization tactic, is to try to get your page to load really, really quickly. And on phones, especially.
Yeah, that's my big focus on the development.
Yeah.
And then is there a tool you use for naming the images? I mean, are you just clicking it in File Explorer and putting in what you want? Or is there a tool that like bulk does anything like that?
Not bulk. Well, that's, I would say Photoshop has the ability to batch. So you can open up all your images and then you can batch name them and save them all. If you search that online, you should be able to find that if you've got Photoshop. So you could batch name them that way. But keep in mind, that's going to batch them all the same name plus a variable. So you want to so you don't want every, like on my site, I don't want every image named Madison Website Design, Madison Website Design. I want to, put a variable in there. So putting in, for me, like WordPress or Squarespace or the client name or something like that to give it a variable is important.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool.
Thank you, Tara.
Yeah. Well, some of you put your email in here, and I will, I'll get a copy of the chat when I close the Zoom meeting, and I will email out that 5 tips for you guys and anybody that wants it, refresher on that. So.
Do you mind talking a little bit about the mail that you were talking about, mail batching?
The EDDM?
Oh, EDDM? Yeah, absolutely. So, okay, so Every Door Direct, so the U.S. Postal Services wanted to figure out a way to be competitive in the market of direct mail, because in past times, here I'm gonna share my screen again. In past times, you had to purchase a mailing list, and you could only use the mailing list once, and you couldn't control where the mailing list went and things like that. So I am like blown away by the fact that people aren't really taking advantage of direct mail services right now when everyone's at home. Like, I feel like it was an incredible missed opportunity in March, April, and May, when people were like literally twiddling their thumbs doing nothing, to try to get them to do any kind of business to consumer type advertising. So this is really fun and really cool. And so what you need to do is go to the U.S. Postal Service, and you can go over here to, you have to create an account. So I'm going to just sign in on my account. To really see the tools, you have to create an account. And then you just go to this, and they're really pushing it too. So it's right on the homepage. You just click on that tool there. And basically what this does is it gives you the ability to choose mail routes of residential customers. And I think you can do business too. Residential customers that you want to send mail to. So let's say, for example, most all these businesses are on the call here in Oregon. So let's say Firefly Cafe in Oregon, Wisconsin. We're going to put that in as our business. Let's put the chocolate caper in there. So what this is going to do is it's going to bring up all of the postal or not. What's your address?
105 South Main.
That's better. So it's going to bring up your office here. And sorry, I'm going to scroll down here a little bit, and I'm going to zoom out a little bit too. Oop, too far. Okay, so here you are, Chocolate Caper, right here located in downtown Oregon. As you hover over these little lines, it's showing you the mail carrier routes for Oregon in that area. And let's say you're like, I want to send a mailing to all of the residential people up here in Oregon Parks area, which is where I live. You click on that mail route and you'll see over here, it's got 480 addresses, 1 postal drop off, and your approximate postage is $82.56. So if you were like, oh, well, that's pretty cheap for postage, I'm going to choose all these. Let's get all these people. Choose as many as you want. You can see the pricing go up. It'll tell you over here whether you want to choose residential or business. You could say, you know what, I only want to choose residential. It'll change your numbers. You want to only choose people that are between 35 and 55, and that'll change the number. You can choose on income, and you can choose on average household size. So those are some of the variables that you can do. So how cool is that? So like he could print a postcard, you know, this size, which is pretty big, 8 by 10, 8 by 11 is like the postcard size that you can do through this. You print as many as it says for you to deliver. You print them, you shrink wrap them, you deliver them to the post office, and then you pay your $607.16, and they will deliver those within 2 weeks' time. And they're not.
The other thing with EDDM is there are specs about how big it needs to be, and if
Yes.
it's an opening one, it needs to be closed. It needs to be sealed shut.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, it's not, so, you know, it'll say like for postal customers. So it's not going to have my name on it or anything like that. But if you wanted to say, hey, Chocolate Caper is now open for holiday orders, get your order in now for special savings. Like, to me, I don't really care that it's not addressed to me. Like, I just care that I've got the information and that I can tuck this away for when I'm ready to place my order. I just think this is such a cool tool. And the other thing is that you can then, once you create an account, you can save this audience, and you could do a drip mail. So you could do, you know, maybe break your business up into 5 different segments, and you can do drip mail campaign, meaning you send one postcard on one service, then another postcard on another service, and you can kind of hit them a couple different times. Yeah, here's your mail size checker. So you can come in here and be like, well, my mail size is 8 by 10 and it's 0.12. I don't even know what it is. 0.012. I don't know. Yes. And then run check. And it'll tell you, nope, that's not going to work. You gotta fix that. If you work with any printer, like Ticey would have this in their back pocket. Like they would take care of all of this for you. If you were like, hey, I want to hit every residential address in Oregon, they could do all this for you. And I mean, I don't know if they do, but like we don't upcharge the postage in any way, shape, or form. The only thing we can help you with is the design of the piece and getting it printed. But Ticey does this stuff. They can do this stuff for you too, as far as the printing is concerned.
You said shrink wrap, but what do you mean?
Shrink wraps when you like have a stack of them and then they put saran wrapper over them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the reason I say to shrink wrap, I mean, you might not have to shrink wrap them if you only have like one post office. But for example, if I wanted to come in here and start choosing, you know, some post offices in Verona and such, there's going to be more than one postal drop off. And so in that case, you would have to shrink wrap the 1,000 that go to Oregon, the 1,000 that go to Verona, and then deliver them that way, or bundle somehow.
Okay.
Somehow.
I didn't know if they were shrink wrapping because of the COVID. I thought,
Oh,
now
no.
what?
Well, no, but that's probably true. You know, they probably want you to do that, but.
Yeah.
You are doing multiple post offices. Do you set each one of those up as a separate EDM, or just pick them all at once in that tool?
You could pick them all at once. So
Okay.
you could do Sun Prairie, Verona, whatever your target is.
Fitchburg, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty cool stuff. What else do you want to know?
What other things you had? Something about your Facebook on there, on your list.
Oh yeah, Facebook targeted audience. So that's another really cool thing. So this is okay. So Facebook advertising has changed quite a bit with their introduction of something called Ads Manager now. So instead of just willy-nilly boosting ads, which is what we all did when it first came out, they really want you to target your Facebook advertising a little bit more closely to get a better bang for your buck. So for example, all you do is you click on your page, and if you're an administrator of the page, you should have a white bar at the top that says settings and all this kind of stuff. And so you can either click on Ad Center here, or it's usually down here on the left to click on Ad Center. And the first thing you want to do before you create any ad is you want to create a targeted audience. So I just clicked on audiences here, and I've got a bunch because I do social media for clients. So just click on create audience. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to create an audience. So again, using the chocolate caper, because I'm picking on him today. So he's going to pick women, because women like chocolate, right? Women between the ages of 30, let's say 30 and 50. Really get those moms that are struggling right now. And then you want to click off of the United States, because obviously no one, you know, maybe unless he's going to ship to them, if he wants to do this targeted campaign locally, you just want to click off that, and so that you get your full United States map here. And let's put in Oregon, Wisconsin, and I'm going to find it here. Did I miss it? Oh, no. Here it is. So if you pick Oregon, Wisconsin, then the default is to give you a surrounding of 25 miles. But if he wants to do just something in Oregon specific, you can click on this and go down to 10. That's the smallest you can go. But let's say he wants to do like Stoughton and Wisconsin or Oregon. You can put in Stoughton, Wisconsin. You can add that in there, and then again, make that 10 miles within the city of Stoughton. And you can see as you go down here, it'll give you this little like a barometer of how well you're doing in creating your audience. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it too much? So right now it's 29,000 people that this ad is going to be served to in the news feed. So you might want to choose some demographic interests on these people and put in, let's put in chocolate. Put in chocolate lover and see if it, look at that, their chocolate lover interest comes up. So we're going to say, heck yeah, we want chocolate lovers that live within that area. And then we want people that like dark chocolate maybe. Oh yeah, there's interest level for dark chocolate. So you can, so look how like specific now this is. Oh, it said, oh, sorry, this is too specific now. We don't have enough people to send this ad to. So you would want to maybe click off one of these and choose something different.
How well does that detailed targeting work in terms of knowing the people who fit that criteria?
That's a really good question. I don't know the answer to that. I mean, this is exactly what Zuckerberg was on trial for, is knowing that people like chocolate. You know,
Right.
like I didn't say that I like chocolate, but I maybe follow another chocolatier and their targeted keyword on their Facebook page is chocolate. So they're assuming that if I like that chocolate page, that I'm going to like your page too. Or if I maybe don't even like your page.
Right. So if you put in an interest of chocolate, obviously you'll be there. Otherwise, it's all inference based.
It's all what?
Inference based. They're just guessing based on
right
what you do.
So it says right here, the size of this is 2,972 people. So 2,972 people like chocolate on Facebook, but because I've only chosen 2 cities, that's why this the size is so small. The sample size is so small. So we might want to go back up here and say, all right, let's go a little bit wider than that. Let's go up to 30 miles on both of these. So you just got to play around with it a little bit. And it's still saying it's too specific, which is surprising. But maybe you could choose, you know, Verona, Wisconsin. I don't know, you just got to play with it. If you change
it from lovers to just chocolate, it'll expand.
There you go. So people who have expressed an interest or like pages related to chocolate. So to me, putting in an interest is obviously from a business to consumer standpoint is going to be a lot more targeted. But I've actually done Facebook ads B2B by choosing titles of people. So for example, for a nonprofit, I want to get in front of executive directors. So here's a job title of an executive director of a nonprofit. So I want to target an ad for nonprofit website design. I can target directly to somebody in their Facebook page that has that as their job description title.
I
So
just got one of those this morning asking me if I wanted a new job. And they had all the executive director jobs open.
Was it a Tingalls ad?
No, I didn't delete it, so I'll go look.
Yeah. So, I mean, who knows why, you know, sometimes I get served ads and I'm like, what the heck? I was just talking about that. And Facebook has said, we're listening. I mean, unless you turn it off, they're listening. So someone doesn't even have to say, you know, like a chocolate page. They could just be talking about it with their girlfriend over drinks. And the next thing you know, oh, you might like chocolate lover, you know, chocolate capers page or something like that. So that's how you create a targeted audience. But that's just, so when you do an ad, you can do an ad one of three ways. You can do an ad to all the people who already like your page, to people who like your page and their friends. And then the third is a targeted audience like this. So for example, you might run an ad, Dan, to all the people who already like the chocolate caper page because they're already clients and they like that. That's an easy ad. So it might be cheaper for you to reach people who already like your page, you know, than trying to reach new people. It depends on your goals. So what I choose and ask people to do for ads is very specific to what their goal is. You know, so if they want to increase their page rank or increase their page likes, or they want to sell something, if they want to open more messenger messages on special orders, if they want to drive traffic to their website, to an event, that's all in the ad creative part. This is just who the ad goes to. And this is so easy to set this up, and it's so often missed. So Judy, you could do a Facebook ad to all businesses that don't already like the chamber page and say, why aren't you a chamber member? Join the chamber.
Right. Yeah.
It might cost you $50 to do that, and you might get 2 new members. You never know. That's another question I get a lot, is how much should I spend? And that's really hard because it depends on the goal. I've got a client that's spending $20 a week, and I've got a client that's spending $500 a week. But the one that's spending $500 a week is a senior living facility opening up in the Dells, and they need people to know who they are because they need awareness right now. So that's that. Look at that. You're getting all these marketing tips.
Yeah, I'm going to add one to that. This is only if you really want to get into it, but this is Business Manager.
Yeah.
Which is another component of Facebook, and you can go and do Ads Manager, which is a different Ads Manager than what we just looked at. But it actually has, the big thing I like about this is if I create an ad campaign, it walks me through, there's some of the default stuff, but then it'll also walk me through, what do I want? Do I want just people to know about me, or I want to generate leads or whatever? And it'll start to suggest some audiences for me if I'm not sure what I'm doing. It also does A/B testing if you're interested in that.
Yeah, A/B testing is really cool. I'm doing that with that $500 a client that's because they want to know whether or not people want to schedule tours or whether they want to come in on appointment or whatever it is. But what the little ad thing that I did for you, you would have the ability then, when you're done creating that ad that you did, to choose that audience, so that work is no longer, it's not, you know, lost work. But then when you're done with that audience, you can save it, and then you can create similar audiences and stuff like that. So. Well, cool. Well, if no one else has any other questions, I'm happy, Judy, I'm recording this video, and I'd be happy to upload it to YouTube if you want to send it out to membership, if you feel like that'd be of value at all. But
I think that'd be great.
Okay.
Yeah.